The atmosphere across Nigeria's middle belt has shifted into a state of high-velocity concern as the tactical maneuvers of the military in the far north begin to have unforeseen consequences for the residents of Benue State. To understand why there is currently a palpable sense of panic in Agatu, we have to look at the massive shift in the security landscape that occurred at the tail end of 2025. Following a series of devastating precision airstrikes in Sokoto, specifically targeting the elusive Lakurawa group and their affiliated bandit cells in the Tangaza and Gudu forests, the military declared a significant victory. These strikes were part of a renewed total claim mandate designed to wipe out the operational bases of extremist groups that had been terrorizing the Northwest. However, in the world of unconventional warfare, when you squeeze a balloon in one area, the air simply moves to another. This is exactly what we are witnessing now. As the heat became unbearable in the Sokoto axis, intelligence reports and local sightings began to confirm a massive southward migration of these armed elements. These are not just disorganized stragglers. We are talking about battle-hardened fighters who are familiar with navigating the vast, ungoverned forest corridors that link the Northwest to the North-Central regions. The headline, "Terrorists relocate to Benue," isn't just sensationalism, it is a reflection of a terrifying geographical reality. The Agatu local government area has historically been a gateway and a strategic point due to its lush terrain and proximity to River Benue. For these fleeing groups, Agatu represents a soft landing where they can regroup, blend into existing local criminal networks, and exploit the thick vegetation to hide from aerial surveillance. Residents in Agatu are reporting strange movements in the dead of night, with sightings of heavily armed men on motorcycles traversing paths that lead toward the border towns. This has triggered a wave of preemptive displacement, where villagers, fearing a repeat of the horrific massacres of years past, are packing their belongings and moving toward more urban centers like Makurdi or Otokbo. The trauma of previous years is still very fresh in Benue, and the news that the same groups recently flushed out of the Northwest are now knocking on their doors has created a crisis of confidence in the regional security blanket. As we look at the strategic implications, it's clear that the insurgents are utilizing the Agatu corridor to bypass the heavy military presence currently concentrated in the northern theater of operations. Security experts who have been tracking these movements through 2025 and into this current week suggest that the insurgents are seeking to establish new taxation zones in Benue where they can extort farmers and control local trade routes to fund their operations. The fear is that if these groups are allowed to settle and integrate with the local Boko Haram-style bandits already operating in the fringes of the state, Benue could face a security challenge unlike anything we have seen in the last decade. The local government leadership in Agatu has issued a frantic "Save Our Souls" message to the federal government, emphasizing that the current police and local vigilante presence is simply not enough to deter a group that has survived international-grade airstrikes in the north. They are calling for a permanent military base and increased drone surveillance along the riverine borders to intercept these movements before the panic turns into carnage. It is truly heartbreaking to see these hard-working farming communities, which are essentially the food basket of our nation, being forced to abandon their ancestral lands just as the planting season approaches. When we talk about national security, it's these people on the front lines who feel the impact of every policy and every military operation. We are following this story because the safety of one community affects the stability of the entire country. If you find this breakdown important and you want to ensure that stories like this get the visibility they deserve, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. By subscribing, you help us grow this community of informed citizens and ensure that the voices of those in places like Agatu are heard by the authorities. We are committed to bringing you the facts as they emerge, and your support through liking and subscribing is what keeps this independent reporting alive. Moving deeper into the tactical side of this relocation, we have to analyze the Lakurawa factor. This group, which emerged with sophisticated weaponry and a distinct foreign influence, has shown a level of discipline and tactical awareness that surpasses the average bandit group. Their move toward Benue is seen by some analysts as a way to tap into the long-standing communal tensions in the Middle Belt, effectively fishing in troubled waters. By inserting themselves into existing local conflict, they can find easy allies and create a smokescreen for their extremist agenda. The Benue State government under Governor Hyacinth Alia has been working tirelessly to strengthen the state volunteer guards, but there is a limit to what local hunters and volunteers can do against the insurgents armed with general-purpose machine guns and advanced communication tech. There's a loud cry for the Nigerian Air Force to extend its Operation Hadarin-Daji tactics down to the North Central, ensuring that there is no safe haven for these elements to run to. The economic impact of this panic is already being felt in the local market. Agatu is a major hub for fish and agricultural products, but with the influx of these fleeing terrorists, traders are becoming too scared to travel the roads. This ripple effect could lead to a spike in food prices across the country, showing once again that security in a remote corner of Benue is a national economic issue. We are also seeing reports of protection levies being demanded in some remote hamlets, a classic sign that the insurgents are beginning to establish their presence. The military must act fast to close the gap between clearing the north and securing the middle. We cannot afford a situation where our military successes in Sokoto and Zamfara merely result in the export of terror to Benue and Nasarawa. The people of Agatu are asking for more than just sympathy. They are asking for a proactive defense strategy that anticipates the enemy's move. This brings us to a critical point of engagement. We've seen how resilient these communities can be, but they shouldn't have to face this alone. The current strategy of chasing terrorists from one state to another needs to evolve into a more contain and crush approach. What do you think is the best way to handle these shifting front lines? Should the government focus more on border control between states, or is it time for a full-scale regional military command based specifically in the Agatu axis? Your opinions matter, and the more we discuss this, the more pressure we put on those in power to find a lasting solution. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't done so already, please like this video and subscribe to stay tuned for our follow-up report where we will be interviewing local community leaders from Agatu to get their first-hand accounts of the situation. Your engagement ensures we can keep digging for the truth. In the coming days, we expect a formal statement from the Defense Headquarters regarding the southward drift of these groups. Until then, the residents of Benue remain in a state of uneasy suspense. The courage of the local vigilantes who are staying behind to protect their homes is commendable, but they are essentially standing in the way of a storm with only umbrellas for protection. The international community is also watching, as the stability of Nigeria's middle belt is key to the stability of the entire West African sub-region. We must demand accountability and ensure that the victory in Sokoto doesn't become a tragedy in Benue. We will be right here monitoring every update, tracking every movement, and ensuring that you are the first to know what is happening in the heart of our nation. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember to like and subscribe to keep the conversation going.